Here to keep the chase going, share information, spread unity, preserve our heritage and our culture. We're trying to achieve something that you just can't catch. We're always trying to find a better way, trying to make better dogs. That's what Dixie Doggers Podcast is. That's who we are.
This episode is brought to you by Rankin Ranch 38 Cattle Company. Marc Rankin specializes in Brahma and Brahma Cross cattle in Oglethorpe County, Georgia. You can contact him at 407-832-2077. 407-832-2077. This episode is also brought to you by Phil Wilson of UC Hunting Properties. If you're buying or selling land, farms, or hunting property, these folks know land. You can contact him at 678-791-3483, 678-791-3483, or visit his website down below in the description.
All right, everybody. We're back downtown one more time. I got this guy here tonight. Y'all probably heard of him. I don't know if you have or not. He's got a dog that I've been letting him handle for the past few years now. His name is Goose. And that's all we need to say. Actually, we're not even going to put this guy's name out there. This is about Goose. It's about Goose. That's it. So what's happening there, Goose Handler?
You go.
That's what
baby.
we'll call you.
not a lot, Joey. Just living life, having a good time.
Hell yeah.
I've been sitting on a deer stand a lot here lately, and I ain't much to sitting on nothing, but the rules of my hunting club kind of limit me to what I have to do here. So
yeah, I think all of us are fighting that battle in some form or fashion.
I just need some of that them wood goat meat, you know.
That's it. Ain't nothing wrong with that. That's the whole man. That's my favorite thing about it.
Yeah,
getting that getting them old woods goats out there. They're corn They're corn goats now. Everybody's feeding all this corn, so hell, they're corn fed and everything.
Yeah, and my favorite part ain't getting them out, shooting them or anything. It's eating them.
Yeah, there you go. I got a daughter-in-law that can eat more damn deer meat than you would ever believe. And hey, it's great. All my daughter-in-laws, all my sons, all my daughters, like everybody. Deer meat is the number one thing at the house. That and pork, wild pork.
I guess I'm gonna have to head out that way to get something good to eat then.
Well, you come on, we'll feed you.
Cause I've been striking out. Listen. It's let me tell you how bad this deer hunting's been going for me. I'm messaging Pat Lewin trying to get advice right now.
Oh my God, son,
I'm not gonna lie. I ain't gonna even stretch the truth. Let me tell you something. I may not call Pat and ask him for any kind of dog advice, but when it comes to deer hunting,
yeah,
that's a different story. I can set my pride down and say, Pat, I got to figure this out, brother.
You see all them damn big ass trophies he's got hanging on the wall. He didn't buy them at Walmart.
No, like Pat is, deer hunting's a little different for me. I mean, I can look at a dog and know what I need with that, but deer hunting, man, I've always hunted, and I really haven't hunted East Texas or really any deer in the last 10, 15 years. I really hadn't, my dad shoots enough of them. I get meat from him, and it's never been a problem, but, I'm wanting to fill my own freezer. And,
there you go.
So I've been sitting on that deer stand, killing mosquitoes and getting mad.
Well, I've always heard that they look at a bright light, and you can see them way better. But it gives them a better chance if you do it after dark.
Well,
that's what I've been told. I don't know. I've seen that shit before. I've heard of it.
Hey, we're about to there because I am so aggravated. I'll get off that deer stand at 6:00, 6:15 in the evening. After I can't see nothing but the hand in front of my face, and then
fucking deer blowing.
I walk to my buggy and I get a picture from my game camera that the deer showed up.
Yeah, right after you. Oh yeah, ain't no doubt. So, well, man, maybe it'll tighten up for you. I hope so. You can knock some of them on down. We need to get rid of them.
Pat messaged me today. He said, I done asked him so many questions. He just said, man, you just gonna have to come down here. I said, say when. Say when, because I'm a fast learner, and you know it.
There you go. Well, you know, it's been a little while since we talked to you. We wanted to, it's kind of become almost a ritual kind of deal. You know, we check in with you from time to time to see how you have been doing with the dogs and stuff in the bay pen world and in the hunting side of it too. But it kind of popped in my head the other night. I hadn't talked to you in a little while. It's been a few weeks, and I know they had crowned the new world champion, and we were talking to Connor Anderson. Did you get to hear that podcast the other night with Connor?
Man, I did. That was a good one, man. I enjoyed listening to that. Connor is he's really a new guy. Listening to him, you can't tell. But he's very new to the sport of hog baying. But I can tell you, he's no dummy. You know, he likes to credit his early success to the circle. But I'm trying to tell Connor, man, you the brightest star in that circle. What are you talking about?
Mm-hmm. He's knocking it out.
I'm just taking a little shot at old Joey Barkley, but
y'all leave my man Joey alone.
Connor's got a bad dog, and when I say bad, I mean that with a bunch of A's in it.
Mm-hmm.
That Buddy Rowe is he's special. He is a special one. He's gonna be. I promise you, if he's not contending for the world championship this year, he will next year. Connor's not dumb, and he's not going to do anything that's going to hinder that dog. You can hang it up. He's not going to make the mistake.
Yeah.
I listened to what he had to say in y'all's podcast, and everything he had to say was in line with exactly how I feel.
Yeah.
You know, he's just. You know, that's the kind of thing that's gonna bring that dog to the level that he needed to be at. You know, and Connor's not gonna make those mistakes. So, I think the dog's young. You know,
he's
three.
Not,
I think 3 or 4, something like that.
He's not very old.
I'd have to ask Connor to be sure. I thought I heard him say he was like 3 in the podcast.
I was gonna say I think he's 3, maybe 4 years old. Man, I had to double check that myself, but you said you agree with most of what he said. What about the?
I definitely don't agree with the.
What about the goat? What about the greatest?
Yeah, his goat comment. Yeah.
What about that? You agree with all that?
Yeah. Listen, Connor's a bright guy, but the reality is Connor wasn't even really around when Gator was doing his thing.
Yeah.
He's basing that off of, results and what people say and Gator. Let me explain. Let me just go ahead and throw the disclaimer out there because I'm definitely not going to take an ounce of anything away from Gator. Gator is the best one dog to ever do it. If you got a heads up battle in a one dog event with Gator and Goose, I mean, maybe when Goose was 3 years old, but Gator had a career. Gator made a career of one dog. When Goose was a 3-year-old dog, he was every bit of as good as anything, including Gator. But he's not that all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the thing. Here's the biggest difference. Goose is asked to do something a whole lot different than what Gator was ever asked to do. Gator was asked to be a one dog and a one dog only. So Gator comes out on Friday and wins the one dog. And he didn't even enter in the 2 dog on Saturday because you couldn't put him with a red bird in a pen and him not catch.
Yeah.
If he had an ounce of help, he was hanging it. So that's who Gator was. Goose was asked to win the one dog, win the 2 dog, come back for the heavyweight title, win that. And then let's go to the 2 dog cup. The miles I put on Goose by the time he was 4 years old, he had more miles on him than Gator had when Gator was 11.
I got you.
I'm asking way more of what I was asking Goose to do way more. And Goose was capable of doing those things at that time. And no dog has ever been capable of doing that. To make it, to put it into the realm of things, Gator has a career of 108 points. Goose and Cowboy, just Goose and Cowboy running together, without Goose's one dog points, without Goose's other partners that he's won with in his career, which is a long list of dogs, Goose and Cowboy have 109 together.
Mm-hmm.
That is
yeah.
Goose is sitting on a career of 275, and Gator has got 108. Well, you talk to somebody like Jake, he's like, well, you can't compare that because we had 3 shows, now we got 5. Well, no, Jake, that's not 100% accurate either. We have 3 shows in Downsville.
Mm-hmm.
We have an Uncle Earl's event. The Uncle Earl's event's been going on since the 1990s. Gator was a part of every Uncle Earl's in his career. So you can add, and you can go get them results off of Jake's page. He still has all the results all the way back to the 90s. Count up Gator's Uncle Earl's points, add that to it. He's got 108. And then the only thing we've added is a 2-dog World Cup. And that's just a 2-dog event. We didn't add a whole nother show. We added an event.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not a show. Yeah, it's a show within itself. There's no doubt about it. But it's not. You're not going just. That's right. You're not going just to go see that one show. It's still in Downsville.
Hey, and there was at the end of Gator's career in 2018, he ran in it. Yep. That was at the end of his career. Jake took over Earl's in 2018. So Gator won his last world championship was in 2018. Gator went to Uncle Earl's 1 year when Jake had it. You know what Gator did?
Mm-mm.
You know what he did? He did the same thing he did at all the other Uncle Earl's. He hung that sucker.
Really? I think it's because it's a bigger pen? Or what?
Yeah, I think it. I do. I truly think it is the size of the pen. The hogs tend to move a little more.
They move more?
Gator was not putting up with that.
I like that Gator dog. God damn, I like that dog.
Man, when you moved on Gator, he took it as disrespect.
I like that. I like that part. Slap somebody.
I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved it.
A gangster.
He was. He was a gangster. And I'm the one that announced Gator in his final run. The dog was blind, and
man,
he lost the hog in the middle for a second. He looked around. He figured out where the hog was. He ran straight to it and hung him.
Hell yes. And that,
man.
These dogs are awesome.
The crowd went wild.
Yes.
The crowd went wild.
So with all this stuff, and like you're talking about, like having the 2-dog deal, the 2-dog cup, and then with Uncle Earl's on the point systems, what I'm getting at on the point system.
Well, that's how it affects the point system. The 2-dog World Cup was kind of invented because when you go to Uncle Earl's, you have a best of the best. It's a 1-dog event.
Mm-hmm.
There is no 2-dog cup at Uncle Earl's.
Yeah.
You have basically the 1-dogs have 2 shots at doing something, and the 2-doggers got 1 shot at it.
And now they changed the points deal because of Gator also.
Yes, that's another thing. So Gator back when Gator was banned for the most of his career in 2018, I think is when they changed it. But or 2017, 2018, somewhere around in that time. Gator might have had 2 years under it, but it used to be the 1-dog was worth 5, the 2-dog was worth 5.
Mm-hmm.
Now the 1-dog is worth 7, and the 2-dog is worth 5. Okay. That happened because back then too, the 1-dog, 2-dog didn't matter what it was. It was only a 3-hole. You got points for first, second, and third. That's it. You didn't get fourth and fifth. So the 2-dog guys, the guys that had good 2-dogs, They knew they couldn't beat Gator. Blackjack was another one in the mix. Gorilla. There was a pile of dogs at that time that were solid one dogs, and to get a top three, man, you had to go through some of the baddest to ever do it, and what that meant was those two dog guys said, man, it doesn't do me any good to run and get fourth and fifth because I get no points for it. I get no money for it.
Beating your dog up.
I'm just going to save my dog, run my dog one more time in the two dog and give myself a better opportunity at hitting the top three there than I would if I run against Gator and the other two, that were pretty much, it was, Gator, Clyde, Gorilla, Blackjack, Ben Moffitt's old dog. Like they were one-dog ringers. So we ran ourselves an extra time, now I always ran. I never pulled out. Randy ran his dog that if there was a prayer that Perjury could win, I entered him. And I rolled the dice with it. I never once skipped a one-dog event, ever. But there was others like Will and Garrett Smith that had Buckwheat, and Will had Legend and Big Black. Man, it wasn't feasible. It was honestly a good strategy. So Jake says they have to run twice in the one dog, and he gave the one dog more points, and he went to paying 5 holes. I think if he'd have just went to paying 5 holes, and then the guys in the two dog would have probably said, man, I think I could do that. I can get a fourth and fifth and knock some points down. There could have been a million things, but I don't know what they've done back then. But every now and then something happens, and it makes you rethink, man, is this point system really the best it can be? And I think this year proved that maybe we need to revisit that.
Yeah.
I mean, let me ask you, Joey, what does the sport of hog band, what sport does it resemble?
Listen, you're going to get me in all this bullshit. And all I do is I'm going to answer it. Listen, I'm going to answer it.
Just honestly answer the question. That's all you got to do. Don't worry about it. This
rodeo.
Is raw.
It's rodeo.
It's rodeo.
It's closest to rodeo. The next thing would be coon hunting. Would be, and it's not really even in resemblance, but because of the dog hunting aspect and the structure of it. I would say coon hunting would be the next thing. So, but it's more like rodeo than anything.
Like bull riding or something like it. Kind of like a bull ride. It's the entertainment
cutting horses
of hog dogging.
Or cutting horses.
Yeah, or cutting. I can see that. Let me ask you this then. So in rodeo, how do they crown a world champion? Like a bull rider or whatever, cutting horse, whatever it is.
For the overall deal at the end of the year or at the end of each show or whatever, it's based on earnings. I mean, you win. So you say you get 79 points, or you get 89 points on this horse or bull or whatever. That goes to that sets the structure, the form of saying this is the highest one. So basically, that's our 10 spot. And then from there it goes to whoever wins the most money. Whoever has the highest points wins the most money. At the end of the year, it's whoever has the most winnings and earnings. Most earnings.
Hey,
and it doesn't matter where you got them or how you got them, in the competition part.
Amen.
So, and the same thing with race horses, same thing with the coon dogs or whatever, whoever's got the most earnings. Whoever made the most money is okay.
Yeah. Let me add this. What dog do you think made the most money this year?
Well, going by my books, I guess my dog did.
That would be
Goose.
The King Goose. Of course.
Yeah.
He has the most earnings by far, by a long shot.
Okay, who was crowned champion this year?
It was Hand
Grenade. Man, I love that dog.
He edged Goose out by 2 points in the end.
And listen, guys, to the listeners out there, in no shape, form, or fashion are when we're talking about this stuff, we're not trying to cut down on another man and his dog by no means. This is about
Not at all.
This is about the system and the way that they do it and the way it's done. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Hand Grenade is a phenomenal dog.
Let me just reiterate. I won off the same point system the last 5 years.
Yes.
You think I'm gonna just knock it? It's not. There's nothing wrong with it. I think it needs some fixing, but there's nothing. I mean, overall, dude. I mean, where else are we gonna go bay?
Yeah.
Hog baying was invented in 2013.
Yeah.
That shit they did before, that was a barking contest or a popularity contest.
I got you.
Jake Lloyd Cano invented hog baying, and I said it. I know that's going to hurt some people's feelings, but that's where hog baying got started, because all that other stuff, it ain't even close to what we do today.
It ain't is different. We had several discussions this weekend at Hickory Crossings, and I talked to some of the older guys that have been doing it for a long time, and we were talking about the way doing the woods event out there Rusty's putting on, and we talked about the Abbeville Bay, and that's more of the old school style stuff that they're doing. But there is no definitive point in there where you can say these are professional dogs, these are pro pen dogs. The way Jake does it, you can say this is pro level. Your dog has to acquire a number of wins to become to that level. Whereas
no doubt
doing it just in the wood stuff or doing the other way, and I'm not knocking either direction. These are the facts.
Yeah.
Doing it the other way, you can go win and you could get lucky. Anybody can get lucky one time, but the consistency factor is what comes in. That makes the difference in a professional and just your regular everyday dog.
Yeah. Before I pack my trailer to head to a hog band, the first and foremost question that I want to know is, how good is the stock?
Yeah.
That is the most important aspect of hog band.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people make these comments, a world champion bay dog ought to bay anything. No, a world champion bay dog ought to bay world champion stock. It doesn't go backwards. That's a one-way street. That is a one-way street. You can take a dog that is competitive, at the smaller shows.
Mm-hmm.
You can take any like those. I'm not. Let me rephrase. Not a competitive dog, but a dog that dominates.
Yeah.
You can take a dominant dog from them small shows. Like, for an example, Center, Halo. You can take a dominant dog and you can come out to our side of the world and be competitive.
Yeah.
But you're not going to take a dominant dog from our side of the world, go to their side of the world, and get a score.
No, probably not.
That road travels one way. And, I've had many conversations about it. Some people don't like to hear it that way, but listen, I'm not here. I didn't get on this podcast to beat around the bush or tiptoe around people's feelings.
I agree. Take advantage of it. I got on here, and I told you. I said I'm going raw. I've heard others say they're going raw. Randy's raw today. Randy Dorrell.
Raw dog and Randy.
There's something to be said. I get tired of listening to people talk about, well, we pay this much for entry fees at Jake's, and it costs this much. All these other people do it. Guess what? Them other people are paying one judge. You know, they paid 9 people $800 from his pen help to his judges. Mm-hmm. And then I don't know what he paid Lynn. I have no idea what he pays for the arena and the stock.
It takes money to put that show on.
It costs a lot. And you want him to put up all that risk and then give you a $50 entry fee for the one dog? Come on, man. Come on, man.
We were talking about that.
Listen.
Me and Jake I seen where he had, I posted a flyer from where Mr. Marc Bannister put on the first Hickory Crossings in 1992, and it was $100 entry. $100 in 1992.
Okay.
Now how exactly? You were making more money then than you were now, for sure.
100%.
Well, I mean, multiple times more money. It's grown.
People, small minds that think that way are the reason why there's hardly any shows to go to.
Mm-hmm.
That it's the reason, and let me tell you, listen, if you don't like the way Jake's doing it, man, as far as I know, this is a free country. You can start your own and do it better than he does. You know how many people have tried that and have 1 or 2 bands and then you never see another one again?
Mm-hmm.
Man, since I've been doing this since 2013, there's been a many that's tried to put him out of business, but Jake's is the only band since 2013 that has been consistent. It's open when he says it's open, and nobody can listen. When Jake Lloyd Cano passes away, heaven forbid, nothing happens to him in a freak accident. But if that happened tomorrow, Paul Bain dies.
Yeah.
I hope and pray he lives long enough to get his son and let him learn the ropes, or one of his daughters, maybe one of them can do the job he does. But it ain't me. It ain't me, and I don't want the job. I don't want the job.
I didn't realize when I first went out there, the first one I ever went to was at Mr. Lynn's, where we all met. I met y'all, and then after I went to Uncle Earl's, which in Downsville, I was like, damn, this is good. It's it runs good. It runs pretty smooth. The entry fees are more than at these other bays, but that does not necessarily mean that they're too high. They're just more than at the smaller ones, but you get paid more. You win way more.
And not only that, but what are you paying for? Look at the facility. You got a shower house. You got a bathroom.
Yeah.
You got
vendors. Food.
You got 3 judges.
Yeah.
I go to some shows, they got 1.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not knocking. So listen, them people that put on, man, for example, I just went to El Perro Loco. Travis is an awesome dude. Puts on a good show for what he's got. But he has to lease his hogs. He has to he's going to lose money at every one of them, but he does it because he loves it.
Mm-hmm.
He's doing it because he loves it.
I agree. You have to have that labor of love in there.
You know how many people are out there doing it and losing money every time, and week in, week out, every time they put on a show, they don't last long. Mm-hmm. I'm surprised Travis has done it as long as he has, because I know he's not making money. Hell, I talked to him about it.
Mm-hmm.
There's only one way to make money in this. You got to follow the exact format that Jake does. Yeah. Follow it, and not only that, now you got to hustle up all them sponsorships that he does. And not only that, you better have a fat bankroll and be able to have the sack to afford the risk that it's going to take to do all of those things, and then pray that you don't have bad weather and the turnout is good. Yeah. Man, that's a lot of weight.
It is.
That's a lot of weight.
Like I said, I had no idea at the extent of it until I went to Uncle Earl's and actually, I sit there, watch the show. Then I got to walking around, and I just observed how many people were there working, and how many people were there spectating. And I was like, there's a lot of spectators, which that's what keeps the lights on. But I was like, there's a lot of people working, and they all get paid. Yeah, they're not doing it for free. Jake's not asking them to do it for nothing. And I will say that every time that I've ever talked to him about pen help or something like that, he's asked me, or we've talked before, because I've got 3 boys, and he's like, hey, if they ever want to do it, he's always said, hey, I'll pay them. I don't know how much or anything like that, but he's never asked for anything for free. And so, like I said, I think people just get misconstrued on the fact that it seems like it's a lot of money because they're used to paying very little at these others.
Yeah.
Go to some of these big coon hunts. If you want to win that type of money, is what I'm getting at. Say the 2-dog pays $30,000 at Uncle Earl's, all right, or whatever. Say it pays $30,000. In order to get to a coon hunt that pays you $30,000, you're going to have to put up a $5,000 entry.
Exactly.
And you don't get to fucking run over and over, and you can't sign him up more than one time. Yeah. You better hope that motherfucker blows out there and gets treat and digs digs them toenails in and rolls his eyes back and fucking pumps it out. Because guess what? That's all you get's one shot.
Yeah. If coon dog people got involved in if coon dog money got involved in hog dogs,
multi-million dollars.
The level of competition would be much, much higher.
Mm-hmm.
And hey, and we would have our hands full because some of them old boys know how to handle a dog.
You damn right. You damn right. I know some guys that all they do is handle
part of their
other
sport.
people's dogs. Yeah, they do it for a living. And
Yeah.
I ain't talking about just barely paying the bills like my dumb ass does. I mean, I'm talking about guys who have brand new fucking trucks, the best, nicest dog boxes. They stay in the nicest hotels, or they have mobile homes, or RVs and all that shit.
Yeah.
And that's not even their dog. They just handle.
I sold my trailer to a coon dog guy that just won $35,000 a Toyota Tacoma, and that's what he drove to pick up the dog trailer that he bought from me.
That's right. I mean, there's
he won
a lot of money.
$35,000 in a Toyota. Hey, yeah, there is. Yeah, there is. I didn't realize it was as big as it was, but I mean, but that's just going back to what I'm saying. I mean, all in all, you know, here we are as hog dog people, and we're out here complaining and giving Jake a hard time about his prices or this and that and the other. And I'm just, dude, I'm sitting in line to go pay my entries, and the guy behind me is like, man, don't even bother buying your ox. That's just putting money in Jake's pocket. I'm like, my God, that's literally the mindset sometimes that we get around here, and that aggravates me.
Yeah.
Like, it ain't just putting money in Jake's pocket. It can also put money in your pocket too. You know, did you show up here to enter him to not win? I mean, is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
I mean, or like I hope Jake makes $1 million at his show, because guess what? He puts money back into it.
We'll be back after a quick break.
And now, thanks to the sponsors and friends of Dixie Doggers. Animal Housing Solutions.
Boars N Broads.
Crockett Taxidermy.
Hardcore Hog Dogs.
Southern Cross Cut Gear.
Ada Y Transport.
4L Kennels.
The American Doghorn Museum.
Unique Hounding Hunting Supply.
Hogbaying.com.
Tuskers Magazine.
Mud Creek Hog Dog Trials.
Well, I mean, the show's going to get better and better, and it's more opportunities for the people who are running dogs.
Yeah, but man, hey, I've been blowing Jake's head up, and I'm gonna get off talking about how good Jake is for just a little while.
Okay.
Because right now I'm still on that point system that needs a little work.
What can we do to make it better? What do you see
all
it
I
as?
All I can say is, and finding the exact solution is very hard, because I think if there was a easy solution, he would have already done it. Because Jake's not dumb. He knows that there's some holes, but finding a way to fix them is the problem. All right, so right now we got Old and Young in Downsville in May was worth the same amount of points as the 2-dog pro in Winfield, Louisiana at Uncle Earl's. The biggest 2-dog pro in the history of the sport was only the same amount of points as the Old and Young in Downsville, because the Old and Young in Downsville, if it goes over 10 grand, he pays 5 holes, which means it's worth 5 points. But I mean, the way I see it is the only simple way is you put tiers on it. I think if the one dog does, like, and I don't know exactly what the number is, but you got to put a tier on it. The one dog might have 40, like, for example, the one dog had an average of 44 entries in the one dog in Downsville this year. 44 entries is worth 7 points. The 140 that we had in the 2-dog is worth 5 points. So you had to beat 140 teams to get 5. He had to beat 44 dogs to get 7. I think there's something wrong there, and it's not even just about the number of entries, but it's the money.
Yeah.
Like, so at some point the 2-dog has to have, like, if it goes over, I mean, it's over 10 grand every show. So we got to go bigger than that. If it's over 15, maybe it should be worth 765, or maybe if it's worth 20, it should go 765. But we there's no circumstance where the old and young and the two dogs should be on even playing field. It's just that's not right. That is probably the biggest hang up I have, more so than the one dog being weighted higher. But we got to have some sort of tier, and I don't know what the number is, but that's something that Jake, I think, should figure out, because he's not. First off, he ain't gonna listen to me because it's always about an angle for me. That's how he's gonna think. Everybody's got an angle, and Goose won the most money this year. He's not the world champion, but that's okay. I won the world championship off that same point system, and Hand Grenade did his damn job. Bottom line, I had the opportunity. I had it on Saturday in Downsville, Louisiana. Last show. Let me just give you a rundown how this went. So we're in the bay off. I think third round or second round of bay off, third round overall, something like that. And I think there's 17 left in it. I'm to the last run. There's only 2 perfects. Goose and Max is one. Gomer and Arthur is the other. So there's only 2 perfects. And guess what pair I got walking to the damn pen? Goose and Gomer.
Mm.
And, dude, we draw a hog that is, I'm talking a track star. You would have thought when he came out, I was like, there's no way we're going to bait this for 5 minutes. We're not getting it for 5. There's no way. I was like, Gomer's going to hammer it. Johnny White, Johnny, you know how he analyzes everything. Johnny White got the video. He says, Randy, they spit him out 85 times. There's 30 seconds left in our run, and Goose just has enough of him run. It ain't even Gomer. This is Goose that catches.
Wow.
And, dude, I was 30 seconds away on a perfect run from getting first and second, which would have gave me 3 points. You know how many I needed? 2.
Damn.
2. And then, man, it's over. So me and Johnny got first and second, but I didn't get first, second, and third, And the head judge comes down. He's like, man, I'm sorry. I told them boys from the first time that hog came out in the very first round, before the bay-off even started, that hog needed to be separated. He did not need to come back in.
Yeah.
So the head judge had already called that hog once. He got back in and he told the guys in the back to get him out. Like he's just running until he gets caught. Everything that saw him caught him. So he not only did he tell him once, but he told him twice, and it didn't happen. And that cost me a world championship.
Mm-hmm.
Because all I had to do, if I get that, is win the 2-Dog Cup on Sunday. Guess who won the 2-Dog Cup?
Yep.
Goose. He won it. Like everything was in line for this to happen. And listen, it happens. You know what? I didn't get upset about it. I didn't cry about it. I mean, I'm just like, but man, if that would have happened, listen, nobody cared because it happened to Goose. And that's another aggravating thing, because nobody cared because it happens to Goose. If that happened to any other dog and he was in line to beat Goose for the world championship, you flip that table around, we'd have had the second in history bleacher protest. People would have come.
Yeah.
I mean, like I'm talking about, we'd have had campers lit on fire if that had happened. But it happened to me, so nobody cares.
Mm-hmm.
It happened to me. Hey,
I understand.
that's all right, Randy. You won enough of them, buddy. No problem. Clap. We'll do it. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with it. We lost.
Randy,
We lost.
it doesn't sound like you're all the way okay with it.
I mean,
I love you.
I'm
calm the fuck down. I love you.
I'm okay with the result.
I know. I'm just kidding.
But for the people that always come out like, oh man, Randy gets favoritism, Randy gets this.
Yeah, you hear that shit.
Blah.
I've heard that a lot. I have.
I get the opposite of favoritism.
From the crowd,
opposite?
from the crowd, you don't get favoritism at all.
No, I don't get it from
very
Jake.
Few people.
I don't get it from the judging. I don't get it from Jake. I don't get it nowhere. if people understood how many times I got beat in a chicken shit because I don't throw a fit about it. I'm throwing a fit now, and I wouldn't even call this a fit. I'm telling you what happened.
Yeah.
That's all. I'm setting the record straight.
That's what we're here for.
I'm setting the record straight. I
took
lost.
Hey.
And I'm okay with it.
Well, that's all that matters. I mean, like,
Yeah.
as long as you're okay with it.
I walked over there. I shook that man's hand. I hugged him. I said, "Hey, I know what this means to you, brother, because I've been here. I've been in your shoes. I know what it means to you." And that's the worst part about it is because everybody wants to win, but man, I've had more people. Every time I win it at the end of the year, everybody's pissed off. And I wanted to make sure that when I walked over to GW that I wasn't that way. I shook his hand, I hugged him, I said, "I know what this means to you, brother." And I congratulate you. You did a fine job. Your dog did a fine job. I said, and that last deal, man, GW was one of the only few people clapping when I retired Cowboy. I say not one of the only few. I mean, he's the one you can see in the video.
Yeah.
He was a hell of a sport at that last one. He was beating me. I said, "Man, just make sure that this is reciprocated if it goes the other way the next time."
That's right.
Let's shake each other's hand. Let's clap for each other, and instead of being, mad, mad about it. Let's, you know what I'm saying.
I've seen it. I've seen it 100 times, and from somebody that was on the outside for a long time looking in, I've seen stuff like that, and a lot of it has been directed toward you and your dogs and the whole situation. I've seen it a few times with other people, you know what I mean, here and there, but not as prominent. Usually it's everybody's like, well, he wins all the time, so there's it's rigged or there's favoritism or something, That's the general consensus that you see from the people that are always there. But I have personally myself, I've had my dogs turn loose in there, and I'm waiting on the light to come on, or I'm looking at the judge, and I'm like, damn, they didn't hit him for that. And they didn't. And I was like, I came and talked to you one night. I was like, hey, I showed you a video. I was like, I know the dog made a mistake. And I showed Jake, and Jake said, well, hell, if they didn't hit you, then shut up.
Yeah.
And that's all it was. That's all it was. But if you feel like you're in the right and your dog made a mistake and you don't feel like it was a mistake, and then if they see where Goose let a hog drift, or if Goose had a little bitty slight look out, or if he nipped the hog or whatever, they're gonna extrapolate that and make it just so fucking huge and blow it out of proportion to where, well, everybody's seen it and we know it was wrong and you got favoritism. All it is because their dog sucked.
Yeah.
That's the truth.
Yeah, I mean, man, 2023 Uncle Earl's, or I think it was 2020. The year Goose won the one dog, it's 2022 or 2023. I can't remember exactly, but Goose let the hog drift in round one.
Yep.
And everybody lost their ever-loved mind.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody took into account exactly what happened. Okay? And I can explain it. The hog threw Goose like the hog tried to break and run. Goose grabbed him. He spins. He slings him 10 foot in the opposite direction, and the hog breaks and runs. Is running down the side of the wall. Goose, once he gets up off the ground, he is running wide open like he's fixing to nail that hog. As he gets about 4 or 5 feet from the hog, he just kind of jumps out to the side and stops running wide open and the judges, when that happens, okay, there's a lot of space between Goose and the hog because he just got slung off. They're watching Goose, and Goose is wide open. And as he jumps to the side, they weren't looking at the hog then. They were looking at Goose to make sure he did not lose eye contact or mess up. They're not even looking at the hog.
Mhm.
They assumed the hog stopped and checked him, but the hog just trotted. He just took about 4 or 5 more steps on into the corner, and Goose didn't touch him.
Yeah. How many times does that happen
And
for other people, you think?
oh my God, it happened to people that were the ones losing their mind in the third and in the second and third round.
Mhm.
But that was the only round Goose had a bobble.
Yeah.
He comes back and proved the next 4 or 5 rounds why he deserved to be where he was at.
Mhm.
I mean, Hogman's not black and white, man. It's a judge's decision, and the judges got fooled. That's bottom line. There was nobody said that they give me any favoritism. Now rewind this to this year. Tyler Grisham's one of the judges up there, and I get a 9-9 in the Bay-Off. And I'm not happy about it, but I'm not mad. Tyler calls me. He said, "Hey man, did you get that run on video?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Can you come show it to me?" I said, "Yeah, no problem." So I go up there. He's on over there because I believe Tyler second guessed his choice on whether to dock him or not. Tyler's one of the ones that gave him a 9-9.
Yeah.
JD or one of the judges at the gate, I can't remember. I think one of the judges said it was 10. The other 2 gave him 9-9. Said he didn't stop a hog. Tyler watches it on video, and he just said he had that disappointed look on his face. Tyler says, "Randy, I'm sorry." He said, "Man, he said subconsciously, I just judged him harder because he's Goose." He said, "I didn't mean to do it. And I feel like I watching it from the video, man, that wasn't the right call." I said, "Man, hey, it ain't no biggie. It's over with now. We can't change it." I said, "But you see that Johnny White, who was in the beginning, was one of the he was a little on that conspiracy theory side type. Oh man, this. Oh man, that. I don't know about this." Johnny runs with me now, and he sees how hard and how scrutinized we are. He's like, "Dude, if like Goose and Gomer got docked in the 2-dog cup,"
Yeah.
and he's like, we're both like kind of scratching our head, like, what did they see? Like, what? I mean, like, and Johnny's just like, "Man," he said, he said it's, he said that the Goose factor is real. You run with him, and you're judged harder now.
Yeah.
I said, "Okay, I'm glad." And Tyler Grisham was one of them too. Tyler, because he was so upset because Goose and Derail one time we got 5th place, and Downsville was like, "Man, hey, them dogs did not mess up." I said, "I didn't see them mess up." He's like, "Dude, running with you is worse." He said, "Everybody talks about you get favoritism, but it's worse. Everybody that runs with me says that. It's the everybody that I compete against that says it's the other way."
I will say this: we drew Goose and Cowboy the first time we ever went to the 2-dog shootout deal.
Yeah, you did. I remember that.
And we could not figure out what happened with the Junior and Cowboy run. It was as pretty as a run as you could ever see. Me and Allie were running together, and we were just looking at each other like they kicked the lights on, and everybody was looking like, "What happened?" Like, what happened? Couldn't tell you. I have no idea. And even Jake just kind of looked at me. He was like, he said, "I don't know."
I don't know.
But listen, I didn't throw a fit. I was, because it is what it is. We leave in the judge's hand. That's why they're fucking judges. That's why they're the judges. We trust them to make those decisions.
And man, it's as good as it's ever been right now.
Yeah. If you don't like it, start judging. Take their place. Swap with them. See how you like it.
Yeah. Good luck. Good luck. I hear people say it all the time, man. It is. I've done it. I don't enjoy doing it. And I did it first, but man, like it's, if I did it, I'd want to do it by myself and nobody helping. I'm one. I'm like, hey, just put it all on me or put none of it on me, because I'm the type that, man, if I see something obvious and I dock them and the others don't, I'm like, what were y'all looking at? I'm like, like, and then you're kind of like, man, like they just set a 9-9 as the precedence of a 10 because I just saw that dog make a blatant mistake. Now you want me to dock the next pair that comes in that has a slight little bobble?
Yeah.
When I saw that with the obvious, like it's hard, because you want to even the score. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
You want to even it. You want to give it back because I think it's like golly, that's a tough situation to put yourself in.
Mm-hmm.
But man, like Hog Band, we spent like I think somebody, I don't remember who it was that said it. We spend 99% of the time talking about the 2%.
Yeah.
The 2%
Jake was saying that. I remember him saying that.
Yeah, and nothing could be more accurate. I mean, like even from my Instagram page, I comment to the negative comments. I don't ever comment to the positive ones. I like them, but I don't ever. I don't hardly acknowledge them. And some of that I do, and 99% of it I do just to aggravate because
Mm-hmm.
I mean, nobody. If everybody agrees, then there's no controversy. Then there's nothing to talk about. That's why
controversy sells. I mean, that's what sells.
That's why I said, hey, let's talk about the GOAT.
Yep.
So by the way, who is the GOAT?
The greatest of all time.
The greatest of all time.
Period.
Hog dog. Period.
Greatest of all time, hog dog.
Yeah.
In the bay pen, not hog dog.
Yeah, bay pen.
Is that the same?
Well,
is that the same? You gonna classify that the same way? Because people gonna talk shit.
They're hog dog. They're hog dogs. I don't care where they're at. They're barking at a hog. They're hog dogs.
Whoever's won the most money in their life.
That's Goose.
Well, I guess that's him. And I'm not saying that because I'm talking to you either. I mean, like, now to me, it's one of those deals where, like, the Gator, I didn't get to see Gator Bay, but one time maybe, once or twice.
Yeah.
But that's my kind of dog. Crow, same deal. It's like those are Rooster. He's another dog that just I really, really like. But if you're doing in the competition side of it, and if you're gonna base it on performance, it's like saying Michael Jordan isn't the GOAT. That's stupid because Michael Jordan is the GOAT. Tom Brady is the GOAT. Wayne Gretzky is the GOAT. Shit like that. So it would be Goose if he's won more money than everybody else. Then it has to be he's the top earner.
The 275 career points. He is 25 points away from 300. Next year, my goal is not necessarily a world championship. I want to get to 300. I got 25 points to do it.
Yeah.
I want to get to 300. 300 sets him in a whole. He sets him in a whole new stratosphere.
Yeah, where nobody. It'd be hard for anybody to catch him, huh?
It's not. It's. I think it's impossible to catch him now. As far as points, I think it's impossible.
I got some puppies on the ground.
I hate to think that it is because that doesn't say much for the future of the sport.
Yeah, but it will be something for people to set their goals and say, hey, this is I want to get more points.
This is the standard.
It's the true top of the deal, I mean, it's like Larry Bird knocking down 60. It's like there's a fucking standard there.
I mean, I've sat around and I've tried to rank them. You put a Mount Rushmore together.
Mm-hmm.
What's
the Mount Rushmore? Yeah.
Cowboy. He sits at 222. Listen, I know what Cowboy was. I can't put Cowboy over Gator.
Yeah.
And he's my dog. I didn't own him his whole life, but I watched his entire career. I've watched it more than anybody. Even the guy that owned him first. I've been a part of more runs. Now, but Cowboy sits at 222 points. And yes, that's way above what Gator is in points, but I mean, the eyeball tells me different. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? The eyeballs tell me, listen, Cowboy was a backup dog. A lot of times, hey, we talk about Goose and that, whether he could one dog or not, but man, if you watch 90% of his runs with Cowboy, he was basically one dog.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there was a lot of times Cowboy's like, hey, man, this is a lot too. this is way too rough, man. Quit getting in there and acting a fool. I'm gonna sit back here and bark. And I can't tell you how many times Goose hit a hog 60 times in a run, and Cowboy never laid one tooth to it.
Yeah, I've seen some of those. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, you know, but I got Gator above Cowboy by a little bit. You know, just because the career points is a kind of a big. I mean, Cowboy's got over 100 more career points than Gator, but man, Gator did everything by himself. So, you know, it's but that's not what we always base it off of. The eyeball test tells me that you know, Cowboy couldn't have done anything what Gator done. Now, could Goose have done? Listen, hypothetically, let's just say all I asked Goose to do was one dog, and I'd done that since he was 2 or 3 years old. What kind of dog would we be looking at today?
Yeah.
You know, if I hadn't have put all those beatings on him in the 2-dog and all the miles I put on him, what kind of dog would we be looking at? That's things that people don't consider when we talk about, you know, well, Gator did way better in the 1-dog than Goose. Yeah, I do agree. It's on paper. I can read the results and show that Gator won like 8 heavyweight titles. I think I heard Connor talk about it, 8 heavyweight titles. Goose has won 8 2-dog cup titles on Sunday. He's only won, I think, 1 or 2 heavyweight titles, something like that. He won 2 best of the best, which is on Sunday. And he's won, I know, at least 1 heavyweight title, maybe 2, and I could be wrong. But if all I asked him to do was run on Friday and run on Sunday, what would that look like? I mean,
Yeah.
There's a very good argument that it could be way different. You don't put the miles on. No dog has went through. No dog's ever won the heavyweight and the 2-dog cup in the same weekend, except for one.
Mm-hmm.
Except for one.
How many times has it been done total? Do you know? Just that one time?
Just that one time, because Goose. All I know is Goose has only won 1 heavyweight.
Okay, so it's only one. Okay.
It's been done once.
Yeah.
But Goose has won as many 2-dog cups as Gator has won heavyweights. And people, you know, he had to have another partner. No, he didn't. He ran with Cowboy most of his career. Cowboy was half the time not even there. I mean, he was just sitting there barking. Like, it has nothing to do with him. It was the fact that, you know, I asked so much of him, and that's why because of what I asked of him is why we're at 275, and that's why the debate's not even close. There really is no debate. You got Mount Rushmore. I don't even put Goose on Mount Rushmore. I name 4 dogs of the best, and then Goose owns Mount Rushmore.
Yeah.
It's not close.
Yeah. Like he's got his own mountain. He's got his own mountain.
Yeah, he's got the whole mountain. And you know, Cowboy, I would say he's on there. Gator, man, and the you know, the next 2 or 3 that come to mind are really, you know, neck and neck. You know, obviously there's Rooster.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you put a Mount Rushmore together, you got to consider the dogs that were the most that had the most influence on hog baiting, and Rooster is definitely in that list.
Yeah.
As far as career points, I don't know where he ranks. I mean, like I want to say Crow's got close to 70 points, 60, 70 points. I think that's somewhere around where Rooster's at. Max is now climbing into the. I know Max and Goose together have 55 points. It was either 55 or 60. I wrote it down. I can't figure out where I wrote it down at, but we're talking about. I know Max has got more points than just running with Goose. Max won a cup with Cowboy. That's 5, so that would be 65. And I know he's done. I mean, Max scored 30. Listen to this. Max scored 32 points this season.
Damn.
You know there's only 3 dogs that's ever scored 30, and Gator ain't even one of them.
Really?
Yeah.
No, so I didn't know that. Now, so what would you say the average points per season would be for to be champion.
To be a world champion. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
I'll put it to you like this: when Goose won it last year, second place dog had 16 points.
Okay.
Goose scored 17 in the last show. So I could have literally left him at home all weekend, all year long, and then ran him in one show and won the world title.
Good Lord.
So, yeah, I mean, it's different because Goose has won the world championship so many years, and he scored over 30 every year. And one year he scored 49, and another year he scored 57. Hand Grenade just won this one with 36 points. And for the most part, honestly, outside of this being a special year, and if you take Goose out of the equation, if you get 24, 20 anywhere in the 20s, in the low to mid 20s, you'll probably be a world champion. Max scored 32 this year, and he's never won a world championship. No other former world championship other than Goose and Hand Grenade have ever broke 30. And here Max is with 32, and he still ain't got a world championship under his belt. Max.
That's one of my favorite dogs, hands down.
Man, he is a good man. I love him. But I'll be honest with you, I don't know that Max is Goose's best partner. And I mean that. And right now they're coming off a huge year. But man, I liked what I seen with Johnny White's Gomer dog. I liked it a lot.
Hell yeah.
I was so worried about making that run because Gomer has been known to just not spit one out.
Yeah, Gomer has. I love me some Gomer. He'll bite that motherfucker.
The hog's got to knock him off every round. You know what I mean? And but man, hell, that's who Fanboy is now. You know, Fanboy and Goose just put together a win, and I feel really good about my runs. But at any given time, we could hang him. You know.
Yeah.
This year is going to be different because Cowboy's retired, and I feel like this is going to take a lot of the weight off of Goose, not having to like. Keep in mind, I love Cowboy. That sounds bad. I don't like it to sound that way, but Goose had to work double as hard in those runs. He had to do twice the work, and Cowboy just got old. You know what I mean? Like you can beat a lot of things, but Father Time is not one of them.
That's exactly right. You ain't beating that.
No, and but man, that. I made a couple videos here recently with Cowboy in his retirement, man, and oh God, making that without crying is so hard to do.
I don't imagine.
I'm gonna tell you, it don't happen. I'm bawling while I'm making the video as I'm doing it. I loved him. There was times when I didn't own him. I hated him, but I loved him too.
Yeah.
You know,
I know exactly what you mean.
You know, he is definitely the king of as much as necessary, as little as possible. Yeah. as little as necessary, as much as whatever, however you want to say it. He had that. He had a way to Cadillac. He knew how to just stay out of the way and get his job done.
And I mean, that's all. That's what it. That's all it takes in a way, but. You got to have, in that situation, in the two dog, you've got to have a strong enough partner to take all the beating.
Yeah.
You know, and that's where Goose has come in. And like you said, over the course of these years, he's taken abuse on the one dog side of it and the two dog side of it.
Right. That's one of the things that, you know, we talk about. Me and Jake, we were riding home from El Perro, and God Almighty, we were arguing about it all. And, you know, the reality is, man, it's always a ridiculous point to even bring up. But what does it do? It moves the needle. We're moving the meter. We might as well talk about it. Everybody else is going to talk about it anyway.
Oh, without a doubt.
Why not us? I mean, hell, you done got Connor involved in it, and Connor's like, man, Randy's gonna be mad at me. I ain't mad at him. Hey, look, we're all entitled to an opinion.
Yep.
Just because my opinion is right and yours is wrong, don't make don't mean nothing. But
That's it.
But what else was we gonna talk about?
I know something I wanted to know about, and we ain't even discussed none of this though. What's the feedback on them pups you were putting out this year to the hunters? You've been still getting good feedback,
man,
on all those little bad bastards.
Yes, dude, that's a whole nother entity that makes me smile from ear to ear.
Good.
Because I've I get all the hate from the hog hunters. I get a lot of the hate from the hog hunters. And it's so nice to be like, man, like all the guys that's like, you'll see them every now and then, like Jaden Brown will hop on one and be like, dude, these puppies are go get one if you don't like it, go get one of them and tell me he can't hunt in the woods. If what he's throwing is hunting is as good as this, I hope he keeps making puppies.
There you go.
Honestly, that's the part of if anything hurts Goose's legacy, I wouldn't say it hurts his legacy, but it may hurt it in the pen world, because I haven't put out many pen dogs. I ain't got the except for take Fanboy and Wolfman out of the equation. There's really not a lot of Goose puppies out there doing anything in the pen, because I've sold them to freaking woods hunters. If you get $2,500 for a dog that just opened his eyes, how many of them are you gonna sell?
Yeah, ain't no doubt.
I mean, what would you do? You gonna say I'm gonna keep? I need to keep them. You gonna turn down $2,500 for a 6-week-old puppy that just opened his eyes?
Well, I mean, I have, but
Yeah,
I mean, like I said,
I have.
I'll be honest with you, but it's different. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't at my disposal.
You turned that down for one.
Yeah.
Did you turn that down for a whole litter when somebody walks up, I give you $2,500 for them all, but I want to buy all 7.
That'd be nice, but like I said, I've done it.
Take $20,000 and put it in your pocket.
Well, here's, like I said, it's under different circumstances, because I didn't have the male dog at my disposal. We done a couple of litters. The dog was $28,000. The dog was $28,000 to get here, to buy him and to get him here.
And terriers and curs are 2 different things.
And I mean, a
lot of people can own curs. Not me.
It was $6,500 a puppy, and there was only 2 puppies going to be able to even get out. But at the same time, it's like, if I had that motherfucker right there where I could stud him all I wanted, yes, I'd sell all of them. Yes, I would, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Now, we got these cur dogs at the house. If somebody give me $25 a head, I probably sell all them bastards. Because for some reason, we went from 0 puppies to fucking 4 or 5 litters real quick. It's like, Jesus Christ.
Right. There ain't no doubt.
But no, like on the wood side of it, dude, there's not many people who are going to pay $2,500 for a fucking finished dog.
You ain't telling me nothing.
You already know this. And everybody out there listening, y'all know it too. And it's like, so if you can get $2,500 a puppy to woods hunters and then put them out there and utilize them
I never have to worry about it beating me in a baby.
Exactly. And the thing about it is, in the woods sense of it, used to, I mean, like a lot of old guys, including myself, I guess now I'm getting there, would be like, I didn't want to give nobody, just like you said, I didn't want to give nobody the recipe to beat me with. But at the same time, if you don't, it fucking dies with you.
Yeah, there ain't no doubt.
And I have seen a whole bloodline, and it's my own fault, dwindle down to only 2 or 3 dogs left in the whole world. And now trying to bring that shit back. I wish the hell I'd have been breeding them and had puppies and sent them to people and sold them, but I didn't. Yeah. So that's the thing to do, honestly. But I was just curious on how them puppies were doing there. I know I've heard a lot of good stuff.
I've never been scared to get rid of my stock. Like I've never
Yeah.
been scared for my stock to get up. The way I see it is, man, it's I should be doing the work to I should be ensuring that I beat them.
Yeah.
I'm not scared of the competition. You do like let me just throw this back. I was the one talking to Flim. I was gonna buy hand grenades.
Uh-huh.
Jake talked me out of that. I ain't saying he talked me out of it. He asked me because it was right around a bad time with Jeff Averitt and all that. He's like, man, listen, you think you give GW the opportunity first to buy him? And I was like, dude, no, not a problem. But if GW bobbles a little bit and he's not certain, then I'm gonna buy it. If that dog's gonna be available, I'm gonna buy it. And I'd already talked to Flim a little bit about it, and Flim wasn't gonna tell me no.
Yeah.
When I made an offer to him right off the bat, and he looked at me. He said, "Bubba, you real close to going home with him." And I just kind of said, "I know you want to run him here at Earls." This was in Winfield. I said, "I know you want to run him at Earls. I ain't gonna bother you with it no more, but I'll talk to you after this event." And it was right after the event. Right after the Earls.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot what year that was, but
it was year before last. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I was, I was fixing to make that phone call to him, and I think Jake had already kind of talked to him and kind of checked his temperature a little bit. And Jake called me before he went to tell GW about it, and he asked me if, he's like, man, would you be okay passing that along and letting GW get him? I said, no, not at all. As long as if GW wants him, that's fine. And sure enough, GW didn't bobble. He knew what he was, he knew what he was looking at. But that's how close that dog came from being mine too.
Mm-hmm.
And that goes with Legend and Big Black, former world champions. Jake talked me out of buying both of them. I was about to buy. I was fixing to call Gary Bell, and Jake said, "Man, you don't need that dog. You don't need that dog." and sure enough, I hesitated a little too long, and Will Seeger scooped him up.
Yep.
And then the same thing with Big Black when I forgot who it was. Jacob was selling him. I was like, man, I think that's a pretty good dog. Jay said, no, you don't want to spend $3,500 on that dog.
Shit.
Former world champion. So needless to say, when Jake said Fanboy was junky,
that's the one you get.
He was wrong. Hey, I told Jake, I said, man, he ain't nothing better. He ain't no better than a weatherman. He gets it wrong is way more than he gets it right.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
That's
yes,
funny
sir.
as hell.
Oh
so,
yeah.
So if he got some advice on buying the champion, whatever Jake says, don't buy. That's what you buy.
Pull the opposite.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If he says, man, don't buy that damn dog shit, we going to get him.
Yeah. You better, if he tells you not to buy him, you better go get it. He was so adamant of not letting TJ Tyndall buy Fanboy. TJ was fixing to cough up some money on him. And Jake was like scared. He's like, oh no. He started a Facebook group called Fanboy Suck.
Yeah, I remember that.
And added TJ to it. I'm telling you, man, it was terrible. And then the funniest part was if you go back and look at the pictures of TJ Thompson, my buddy,
mm-hmm.
that he helps handle a lot of my dogs with me. If we go back and look at the two dog World Cup pictures, Fanboy got first and second.
Oh yeah.
And TJ is holding Fanboy, and he basically had his nuts all in Jake's face.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, I took the picture. Yeah, I stayed all night just to fucking watch that. Me and Pat were talking about it.
Oh my God. When I looked back at it, TJ said, I was doing that on purpose.
Yeah.
Randy, I was doing that on purpose.
Yeah, I can picture TJ saying that shit for real. He got that old gravelly voice, that old coon ass. Yes, sir.
He said, listen, Count. I put Fanboy up, and I put a nut right in their face.
Damn it, boy.
Hey, oh man, I done started talking like TJ. Y'all missed that. I've been impersonating TJ at the last show. I done had TJ mad at me. I done got Pat and TJ mad at me for doing impersonation.
Damn.
Oh
Well,
yeah.
I mean, if you can do them, you know,
Shit.
I can appreciate it.
I listen. I called it. Me and Pat have been off each other's case here lately. So
Yeah, leave it alone. Fucking leave it alone.
I'm gonna leave that alone. Pat is.
At least till deer season's over, you better.
I better because I can't kill no deer. I'm gonna have to go to Pat's to kill some damn deer.
Shit.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm
man.
struggling, brother.
Ain't nothing wrong with. Hey, well, you'll get it straightened out. Hell, Pat will get you lined out.
Yeah,
And then he'll tell then he'll be able to tell everybody. He was like, "Well, I had to help Randy with that. I had to teach him something."
yeah. He ain't lying. Only time he's lying is when he's talking about a hog dog.
Yeah.
That sucker can deer hunt.
Yeah.
That sucker can deer hunt.
I know every damn time he goes, you know, if he's talking about deer hunting or something like that, unless he's riding around picking them up off the side of the road, he's always got a damn deer on the back of the truck or on that Jeep.
Dude, I mean, like, I never really thought it was that hard. I mean, dude, people hit them with their truck all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
If you can't dodge a truck with you know, clearly, you know, you would think it would be a whole lot easier. And, man, I really put some time in this year, and I have been getting my butt smoked.
That's the way it goes. If you weren't putting time in it and you didn't give a damn about it, you'd walk out there and knock out a booner right off the bat.
Yeah.
But since you care, it's going to be a lot harder.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess I guess you're probably exactly right. I'm out there. I got my little spray. You know, I'm washing my clothes with the no scent detergent. I got my earth scent spray on my clothes.
That's right.
What brand of camo do you wear?
Dude, I ain't even wearing camo. I'm sitting in a box stand.
Okay. Because if he's going to say Sitka, I was going to let that speak for itself.
Yeah, we're going to give you a hard time.
What is Sitka?
It's gay stuff.
Yeah. Way too much expensive stuff.
I done spent too much on the goddamn Goose brand to wear anything other than Goose. I wear a Goose shirt to the deer stand.
There you go. Rep it.
No, I'm not. I'm wearing a Goose shirt today. I wore a Goose shirt yesterday, and I'll probably wear one 50 years from now. When you see me, I'll be wearing another Goose shirt and a Goose hat somewhere. Why does anybody want to go buy Hurley or whatever somebody else's brand?
That's right.
It makes no sense to me. Why would you want to wear something? I don't even know them people. They probably vote Democrat.
Yeah, they probably do.
You know what I mean? I'm not doing it. I'm more worried about the damn shirt that I have it printed on. It's probably a Democratic company. I don't know that, but I hope it's not. But I mean, I'm sure it is. You know, like you can't get away from it. You can't get away from them as much as you try.
No,
you can't.
Ain't no getting away from all that shit. It's in your face, and it ain't never going nowhere.
Dude,
Lord, I wish it would.
Nope, but guess what? We got 4 more years.
Ain't no doubt. Boy, that was a fucking sigh of relief. Jesus, I'm so happy.
Dude, I'll be honest with you. I didn't think he was gonna win.
I was worried.
I mean, literally, Joe Biden is a way worse candidate than this lady. And I mean, just Joe Biden couldn't put a sentence together. At least this lady, I mean, she might have been dumb, and but she could at least read the prompt.
Yeah.
What I mean, she could at least do that.
And she could cook some greens.
I don't know what else she could do.
She said she could cook some greens. That's what she kept saying. She said, "Oh, I cooked them greens."
But when they had that debate, and she was just triggering Trump.
Oh, that shit was ridiculous.
And the people that were hosting, they were. I mean, it was obviously it was set up. They
one-sided.
They knew what trigger words to get Trump in the role. And I was like, Trump, I just want to say, man, just shut up and go win.
Yeah.
Just shut up and win. Because nobody. I mean, like, we all know you're the most fit and the best guy for the job. You don't have to tell us that you're the best in history. We already know it. Everybody does.
Yeah.
You are the best president. You are the best candidate we could have possibly put together. So just go win. That's all I wanted. Like I was like, 81 million people voted for Joe Biden. Did you see how she had like 66 million? I think Trump had like 72 million or something. He won. He literally he won by a landslide. Even though like a lot of the states were close, he won like every one of them.
Well, you know, they still had that shit probably half-ass rigged up anyway.
Oh, they did.
You
But
know.
did you not see how they did Georgia again? They were like,
Yeah.
dude, it was like 98% complete, and they were already done counting like the county that's around Atlanta, whatever county that is. I forgot, but
Fulton County.
I'm like, yeah, like why are we not calling this? You know what I mean? Like,
well, there might be
it's
some more
98%.
show up.
He's got 200,000. We're like, I'm like, at this point, I'm looking at it. I'm like, they don't even have that many registered voters. Are they going to say that 100% of the registered voters all voted?
Yeah, no
Come
shit.
On.
Exactly.
Like how? Like it would have took those kind of numbers, and that's never going to happen.
No.
But yet they were waiting to see if he was going to hit Pennsylvania or if she was going to win Pennsylvania or Minnesota. I guarantee they were fixing to cheat that state. They just realized right then and there. They said, "Man, he's going to lose all these other ones, you know, or he's winning all them other ones." And
ain't no cheating out of this one.
There ain't no sense in cheating this one.
Well, they knew like if it comes down to this bullshit again, there's definitely gonna be issues.
Oh yeah, 100%. They knew they couldn't pull the same crap they pulled the year before. Like everybody's looking for it now. We all went to bed with Trump having like a 300,000 vote lead in Georgia, and all of a sudden, the next day he lost. Georgia.
Dude, I was so fucking mad. I mean, like stomping. I think it was either Nathan or Jody, one of the kids. They were like, "Why does this bother you so much?" I was like, I said, in all the years I've been alive, I've never went to bed and not known who the fucking president was. I said, and here I wake up and now they find. I said, I knew then. I was like, when I went to bed, and they were like, well, the vote's still out, and I was like, no. They've always conceded, and they've always said, okay, here you go. We'll hand it over. It's done. It's over. We know who the president is. 10, 11 o'clock at night, go to bed. Well, then when that didn't happen, I was like, holy shit, what's happening? And if they can fuck us over like that, just imagine how more we're getting fucked.
Oh man.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
And man, this ain't over, man. He ain't made it into office. They've already had 3 assassination attempts. This man is a multi-billionaire, and here he is putting his life on the line for us. Yeah. Because no other president is being like, we're not doing this to the Democratic, you know, we're not doing this there. Mm-hmm. Man, I don't care what personal issues you may have, or you may think he's arrogant or whatever. The guy had a good economy.
Yes, the economy was fantastic.
I don't care about all the, like, dude, it's hard to listen to him at times too. I understand. It does. It is hard for me to listen. But hell, I imagine there's people going to listen to this podcast and be like, man, he's hard to listen.
No, they ain't never going to say that, Randy.
Yeah, they're all going to listen.
They're going to listen whether they want to or not. Cram it down your damn throat.
Yeah. They're going to. This one's going to shake up some controversy right here. And hey, who better to shake up some controversy than me?
Yeah, I agree. That's why when you was like, I'm ready, I was like, all righty, we going to get this bitch started up.
Yeah. Man, I had a conversation with a guy. We were talking about East Coast dogs the other day, you know, separating them guys.
Yeah.
Somebody, who was that? Was asking me. He said, Randy, who's the best dog on the East Coast right now? I said, man, it's Center.
Yeah.
I was like, man, I don't even know. I mean, I could make the argument that it's not just right now. I can make it that it's period. Like he's the best. I mean, he's been for the longest period of time. He's been the most consistent. Mm-hmm. What do you want to base it off of? I mean, is there some dogs that might have a few more wins? But I'm talking about top five.
Yeah, Center's there all the time.
Center won, and Center's beat me. Hey, and hey, not only did he beat me, but he beat me twice because I had it was Goose and Cowboy, Goose and Elmo against Center, and I forgot the partner she had at the time.
Was that the one she was running with Joey Barkley?
Yep, I bet it. Yeah, yes, Dillinger,
yeah.
You know where I ended up? Second and third.
Yep.
She had to. I mean, on that day, she had to beat the best dog in the world twice, and she did it.
Yep. Yeah.
I mean,
Dillinger's a good dog.
listen, it was as heads up as it could be. Hogs were dead even.
Mm-hmm.
We bobbled twice. We 9-9 twice. Now you know how many mistakes Goose made in those 2 runs. The tiredest dog there, he didn't mess up once. not a lick. Cowboy got hurt with like seconds left, man, like 15, 16 seconds left. Cowboy gets hurt.
Damn.
And man, it was seconds left too with Elmo, and Elmo got tired and had a bad cross.
I've noticed that how some dogs do that. Like they get tired and they'll throw a bad cross. You know,
They get yeah. It's like I said, if it's in there, man, it shows up when you're tired. You know what I mean? Like if you got it to do, it's gonna show up when you're tired. And dude, Elmo, I don't even think Elmo 2 dogs anymore. Elmo is a hell of a 1 dog though. Whew. God,
yeah,
he's a good one.
Bad dude, yeah.
Yeah, he's a good one by himself. You know, a young dog too. You know,
shit, he ain't 3 years old now, ain't he? Something like that.
I bet he's probably about 3. I
3 or
mean,
4.
When this happened, him and Goose, he was a year and a half. He had ran in the old and young that day, and I told Lynn, I said, just run him one time, I'll run him with Goose. And he said, deal. And that's what we did. And we capitalized, you know. After that, we tried to run again, and Elmo was just so rough. Like as he was maturing, you know, this is,
Mm-hmm.
you know, he's doing this and he's maturing at the same time. And he went from being a boy to a man, and you couldn't run him with Goose no more. You know what I mean? It was too much. But I tell you what, man, a lot of people think Buddy Rowe is just really, really rough like that. I watched some video Connor sent me. That dog ain't that rough. I mean, dude, he's a man, but he's a bay dog. He's not overly rough. I'm not against possibly putting him with Goose, depending on how like right now I got, you know, he's got Max, he's got Fanboy, he's got Gomer. And I don't see, I mean, for the unforeseeable future, I don't see any problems with any of those dogs that would open up a run. But if Fanboy gets in his little way where he won't let go, Buddy Rowe's my next. He's one of the ones that I'm looking at. I don't think he's too rough.
Yeah.
And I think at Goose's age now, he's 7. I'm gonna have to start pairing that direction. I'll take my catch outs when I get them, but I would rather do that than beat him up in the latter part of his career and possibly shorten his career, you know. But shoot, I said that the other day. I said, man, I think Center might be the best dog on the East Coast, and I mean, I'm talking about, boy, whoa, what are you saying? Like, you forgot about Camo, you forgot about Halo. I'm not saying that Halo doesn't make a strong argument, and
they're not hardly bayed at all, though.
But the problem, the difference is Cody ain't been able to come out here.
Yeah.
Cody, the time he's been successful, but he's only been out here, I think, once. You know, been to Earl's a couple times. I know Cody said it was one of his goals to play, you know, to knock down hit a money hole at Earl's or something like that. So I don't think he's done that yet. I don't know that Center's hit a money hole, but I know he's been in the top 5, top 10. But Center's won 2 events out here, won a 2-dog cup, won a 2-dog pro, against the best competition, done it and done that like a year apart from each other. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And constant top 10s. Camo, man, he's won back when we were at East Texas, but he had a good season. Like John, I don't remember, something happened with John. He got hurt, quit coming to Bayans. Like, I think he was like physically hurt. And the next time I seen Camo, he wasn't the same Camo. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So, I mean, in my opinion, the most consistent dog out there is over the course of the years has been Center. That's Randy's 2 cents.
There you go. I mean, well, like I said, I had to agree with a lot of that because I've watched that dog myself, and for several years now. Like you said, it's not that it's winning first place every time, but you know, and we've all talked about this before. I take that dog that's in the top 5 every time over a dog that wins first place one time.
Yeah.
Every day.
I remember I listened to one, it was actually on your podcast. Pat Lewin said something very similar to that.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, I would take a dog that's in the top 5 every time over a dog like, say, Goose.
Mm-hmm.
And I like Pat.
You see in the top 5 every time?
He's not just in the top 5. Goose has won every single 2-dog he's been a part of. He won every single 2-dog in pro in Downsville for the last 2 years, except for one. And the one he didn't win, you know what he did? He got second and third.
Got second and third, yeah.
That's when Center beat. You know what second and third is? That's 7 points. Winning's only 5. So, so you tell me. And we're talking about years. He went years of winning every 2-dog pro event. To win two back to back is unheard of. The only reason why it ain't is because Goose has done it.
Yeah, that's
everyone. I'm looking at these results right here because I wrote these down. In 2024, he won 2 out of 3 of the 2-dog cups. He also won the 2-dog World Cup. And in 2023, he repeated that. He won 2 out of 3 of the 2-dog cups, which is the event on Sunday. And then he got first and second in the 2-dog World Cup and won all of the pro events except for Uncle Earl's. He's been second at Uncle Earl's 4 years in a row in the 2-dog.
Damn. Yeah, that's.
And we're talking about consistency. That is the epitome of consistency.
Yeah, he's consistent. Oh, there's no doubt. I mean, like I said, he's not one of those dogs that's going to be baying a 10 or catching out all the time. You know what I mean? He's going to be more. Yeah, I was going to say he's going to be more consistently baying a 10 than he would catching out. And that's what we mean when we say the consistency factor. He has to be consistent, or he can't accumulate that many points or that much money.
No. And what's even crazier is, like, we talk about this and we just talk about the final result. The final results don't always tell the whole story. The final result don't always tell. But what we forget is, like, the back to back. Like, it was not only did he get second and third, but he went back to back, and he was the only dog that made it perfect. Is the reason why he was second and third was because his partners wasn't able to hold up. He was able to hold up a back to back run, but yet his partners are the ones that got tired and made mistakes.
Yeah,
that's how much bigger the gap is. And hey, like I said, I ain't holding back.
No, I mean it's
what it is. I ain't holding back. These are facts. Go watch the event. These are all facts. I'm not stretching the truth. I don't have to. It almost sounds like I am because of how good he actually is, and how dominant he's been in that, especially in the 2-dog event. And people say, well, it's harder to have a 1-dog. Yeah, it's there's just less of them that can do it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also really hard to be able to do what, to be able to work with as many other dogs. You know what I mean? He's won with Capone. He's won with Max, Cowboy, Derail, Elmo. I mean, hell, he even got a top 5 with Toad. You remember that dog? I forgot who owned him.
I do remember the dog because of the name.
Yeah. He, we're talking like, okay, You know, Jake said it best. Everything else, everything that runs with Goose wins, except for Fanboy.
Jake's gonna love it, ain't he?
Man,
Oh,
I don't know how he's gonna react to this one. I told him I told him I wasn't holding back.
yeah.
But
Well, I
mean,
mean, if I know
listen,
Jake,
I've had
Jake knows
I
you can
think
say what you need to say. You know, I know Jake
my
respects that part.
my skin is thick,
Yeah,
and it's had to be because of the years. But man, uh, you know, I'm a human too.
hmm
I get tired of it.
yeah.
You
Oh,
know,
I could only
uh,
imagine. I
Johnny
don't know how you could
White,
take
man,
that
is
much shit all the time from people. I don't fucking know without punching them in
I,
the face a bunch.
yeah, and that's happened a time or two.
Well, yeah,
I'm not proud. I ain't proud of any of it, but I mean, I'm not always sorry for it either. I mean,
yeah,
I'm not saying, but I can't say I'd handle it any different. Is what I mean. I mean, when you say you're like when I say I'm sorry, that means I'm not going to do that.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh,
I
yeah.
can't say I can't look somebody and say I won't react that same way again, but I'm not proud of it.
I
You
got you.
know, but Johnny White, we were talking about him. He was somebody I want to talk about, man. Johnny White's another one with some thick skin too.
Yeah,
He's man, a lot of people he's different, and they choose to not like him because he doesn't wear Wranglers dip snuff. I don't know you know what I mean? Like, I I know Johnny,
yeah,
and me and him's gotten close over the past couple of years. I mean, we're he is a good friend of mine. If I feel like if I was ever in a bind, I could depend on him, and there ain't many of them there ain't many of them people you can say that are like that.
no,
You can depend.
there's not
You
many
only get
at
a handful of
all.
those.
Yeah,
In my book, he's one of those, but not. I mean, but listen, Johnny White has more passion. He has the same passion and drive I did when I was young.
yeah.
Like when I look at him, I see my old self.
And you know, I've
And
said it before on here. I've always I've always pulled for Johnny. You know, and the reason is I've like you said that passion. That man woke up every day for years, and the first thing he does is post something about hog baying. That's all he
yeah,
studies. And I'm not being, I ain't trying to be, I'm not being mean about it, none of that. But there was a time where I was like, damn, that's literally what's on his mind. And
yeah,
that's all he thinks about. But I've also seen all the money and all the time that he puts into it. Dude, he
yeah,
travels further than anybody else, and
yeah.
he's always there.
Dedicated and
Dedication. I'm
loves it.
glad he's
And
starting to get these good steady wins, and it's
you
get yeah,
you do realize that I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm gonna call this. I'll make the bold prediction. Johnny White is gonna win Kennel of the Year either this year or next.
I would
And
I would go with that. Yes.
and I say Johnny White. That's Johnny and Donnie.
Yeah.
That's SMK. We were just talking about Johnny as the reason why
Yeah.
I singled that out, but we're talking about both of them.
Yeah.
But
Well, Donnie's another one the same way that's dedicated with the passion. The only reason I said so much about Johnny
yeah,
is because I knew Johnny, when he was coming to Hickory Crossings and Pistol Creek and all that before
yeah,
it ever got to this caliber. And I mean, he just continued to
yeah.
press forward and to continue
And
to prosper and do better. And now
I've
with
had
Donnie in the mix, them two together seem like a hell of a team.
yeah. Yeah, and I've had like Johnny. Johnny will every now and then bounce something off of me, and ask me a question. I'm like, Johnny, you don't even need to ask me this. You already know the answer. Are you wanting me to confirm that what you'd already know? You
Validation.
know what I
Yep.
mean? Like, you need me to validate what you already. Like, Johnny's got a handle on what he's doing and what he needs to do and the direction he needs to go in. And look, that he had Gomer broke into the top five.
Yeah.
Gomer, I think fourth. Johnny was like third in the kennel of the year by the time it started. I don't think he might have been in the top five to start the last event, but in the last event, he moved in within like 5 points of Code Red.
Okay.
He was one win away from being the second, having the second best kennel that year.
Yes.
I had and I had the most points I've ever had in my career with my kennel this year. I think I don't know if it's a record or not, but it's got to be close because I had 82 and some change on the year. 3 dogs inside the top 10. I've never had 3. I've had 2, but this was
Good year.
definitely my best year for the kennel. Two dogs that scored over 30.
You can't.
Until this year, there was only one dog that ever broke 30, and that was Goose. And then Hand Grenade did it, and now Max.
Yeah, I mean that shows the level of competition is steadily climbing too.
Man, these dogs are so good now. They're so good.
Yeah.
I always hear people talk about the old breedings and this and that. It's got this old blood. Let me tell you something. I'm breeding to this new stuff.
Yeah.
I ain't going back.
Yeah.
I see what it takes and where in the direction. It's Johnny White's doing the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
And look at the results he's getting right now.
That's right.
I'm gonna do like I said. I mean, if there's any way at the end of this thing, if Johnny's close in this next year, I can help him. I'm gonna help him because, I don't care about Kennel of the Year. I didn't care about it this year. I won it, but I didn't care about it. Like that wasn't my goal. My goal was the world championship, and I got beat. That's hard. That was a hard one to swallow.
Heartbreaker.
But one of the dangest, craziest things, and one of the things I hate, like JB Mooney screwed up really big. And I hate to say that, but that day he made that freaking statement that he says, "Show me a good loser, and I'll show you a loser."
Mm-hmm.
That is the most out of context, and people take that statement out of context so often.
Oh yeah.
Because that all that did was just give people an excuse to act however they want when they lose.
Mm-hmm.
It gives people a reason to point the finger at
because they're losers. That's what it comes down to. It's like it's okay, and like you said, when
JB Mooney said that, he was talking about I have lost, and I ain't happy with losing.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't point the finger at this. I didn't point the finger at that. I knew what I did. JB Sport there's a man and a bull, and some judges. They got to decide on how good he rode.
Yep.
So he ain't blaming the judges. He's not blaming the stock. Who's he blaming when he loses? Himself. And that's what he meant by that. That doesn't give you a right to, go chew out the guy putting on the show, chew out the judges.
No, not at all.
That's not what he meant by you can be a good loser by acting that way. Yeah. That's not what no. And but that's how people that's how I've heard it in context used that way, and it was to make an excuse for people acting a certain way about how giving themselves an excuse to act however they want to act.
Mm-hmm.
Look, man, I'm glad it ain't me.
That's right.
I'm glad it ain't me that's doing that. But although I did go on a tirade about me getting my ass kicked this year. Hey, but in the end, what did I say? Is I got beat. I got beat.
That's what it comes down to. It's like you got beat.
Yeah, I mean, hey, I knew the rules going in. The rules haven't changed in the last 5 years, and I've won under them rules. And I got beat this time under those same rules. I do think they need some work. That is That is my opinion.
Yeah.
They need some work. We obviously saw that they needed work when Gator was running. I think this is a different time, and there's some evolving that we might need to do. I think something needs to be revisited, but I don't think it needs to be anything major. But I think there's some tweaking.
Yeah.
And shoot, man, I'm excited for next year, Joey.
I think,
Excited.
like I said, of course, you've always got good shit going on, so it'll be exciting regardless.
What's Nate been up to? Because he's been real quiet on this thing. Now,
Yeah,
I
he's
did hear
sitting
him
over
getting
there.
after it a while ago. I
Yeah.
heard him getting after it a little while ago. He kind of woke me up. I was like, shit, I forgot we had somebody else on here.
Yeah, sometimes
You got carried away.
I just ain't had much to say. I just been doing a lot of listening.
Doing a lot of, hey, the smartest man in the room is the one that listens the most.
Yep, that's
Yeah.
exactly right.
Yeah. That ain't never me.
That's what I say. I'm always talking.
I ain't never been accused of being the smartest man in the room.
I don't enjoy being accused of it.
Yeah.
I've been accused of a lot of other shit, no doubt.
Well, Nate, what I do have some questions. What you been up to?
Mainly just trying to get these damn puppy pens finished. It's been the bane of my existence the past 2 weeks.
How many puppies you got right now?
At our house, I think like
15.
Yeah, I think it's like 16, something like that, 15, 16.
Oh.
Right, we got 10 at Rodney's.
Yeah, then Rodney's got 10.
And we got one in the breed pen now, so.
Yeah. It's just, everything's come down to where it's like, had all these dogs prove out, and in the past.
Have 100 head here.
By
Christmas.
Somebody put a deposit down on a dog today. They steadily getting moved out.
Are these hog dogs?
I hope they will be. I hope most of them will be.
Yeah, that's the goal. That's what I was asking. I mean, that's what I'm asking. You bred these to be hog dogs.
Yes. Yes. Well, this last litter, they're probably going to be pretty versatile. There's going to be some OMCBA dogs, some old stock mountain cur. So hopefully they'll do whatever you put them on.
That squirrel dogs or
it'd be squirrel dogs, hog dogs, blood trailing dogs, anything. Yeah. My Louis dog, he's dual registered, so he's registered as an old stock mountain cur and as a Kimmer cur, and then we have an old female, and that's the only reason why we're breeding is because she's at that age right now. She's like 8 or 9, and it's like anything past that is just, probably not going to get another litter out. So it's kind of like just crunch time of. In the past, we didn't breed, and we learned that don't do that. Just go ahead and breed and do your networking job and do your job as the dog breeder to make sure these puppies are getting placed in good homes. You ain't got to keep every one of them or sell them or whatever you decide to do. But if you're going to try and develop your own dogs, you got to make them. And not by hunting them, but by breeding them.
Yeah, 100%. You couldn't have said it any better.
Oh, that's been the main focus at the moment.
Yeah. Y'all ain't been deer hunting or anything like that, though?
I've been bow hunting a few times. No, just pretty here and there. I ain't been in a few weeks.
You kill anything yet?
No, I've gotten damn close.
Did you shoot and miss?
No.
Well, they better not shoot and miss.
I try and spot and stalk, and I've gotten like that 40, 50 yard range, and I had this one older doe, and she comes into the bait pile all the time, and the shooting house is only set up for guns. Like there's not enough room for me to get in there and draw back, so I had to get on the ground and hunt, and I'd got within like 20 yards, and I was sitting there, and I was like creeping through the pines, and I was like, I know this doe's like right here, and I was like, I'm pretty sure she should be to my left, and then I heard a blow on my right, and I was like, this bitch got me. And then
that's what I was telling Pat. I said, dude, I'm getting made every time I'm hunting with my bow, and like I'll get in a tree climber and put a corn pile out. No, I'm climbing up the tree climber. It's still dark, and I hear them, and you hear shit breaking everywhere. I'm like, fuck, I might as well go home. Like, I ain't even got daylight yet. I'm like, they made me. You know what I mean? Like,
it's not encouraging. It's not encouraging.
Dude, it is. I'm I'm hard headed. I'm very persistent. I'm like, hey, man, I got to figure this out. I got to figure this out.
And bow hunting's one of them things that makes you want to figure it out because it seems like a lot of people, which I've never had, like this is the first year I've even tried bow hunting. It seems like most people, once they get the bow hunting figured out, they got it. But it just seems like there's a hellacious learning curve. And my issue is just getting under that 60-yard range. Once I get under there, I've had like 3 or 4 opportunities and I could either not get a shot or the deer made me. And I got real close on this big spike. There was a funky 7-point, but he's a huge bodied deer. And then there was another spike, and I saw him at like 100 and something yards, and I got down and I crawled and I snuck up and I'd got within like 60 yards, and I was like, he's staring like right at me. And I was like, I don't know. And I just kept sitting there and kept sitting there. And he just stared at me. And we were just sitting there like looking at each other for like 10 minutes. And then eventually he just blew and left. And I was like, I wasn't going to move. I was just going to see if he eventually gave up or if I did.
Yeah, we're in a Mexican standoff here.
Yeah. I was like, we're like looking at each other through the bushes. And I'm like, I don't know if he sees me. I'm like, I'm pretty sure he sees me. It sure does feel like he's looking at me.
Man, I've been like that. I had I was sitting I actually climbed up on my box stand with my bow, and I can shoot out of it. Like it's got the windows cut right and everything. And I was just climbing up there. Honestly, I was just trying to get everything set up, but I brought my bow anyway. I was like, man, I'm gonna sit here for a little while, see if anything comes out. Sure enough, they come out and they were literally underneath me. Underneath. And I'm like I'm leaning over the window looking down at them, and like then they kind of eased out, and like they were like, I'm talking about like 5-yard shot, but it was like straight down, and I'm like, and it was just it was like a bunch of, it was like a doe, and then she had like 2 like twins, like babies.
Yeah.
And then she had another one with her that was probably her baby from that might have been a year and a half or so. And I was like, man, I can't shoot this mama doe. That's like, she's making 2 babies like you don't want to shoot that one. And I passed her up, and I ain't had another shot at one since. And they were right underneath me, and they didn't smell me or nothing. I was like, how is this happening? But yet I walk out on the stand some days, and they're just, I'm scared to open the windows in that damn box stand. Like, I'm like, man, my scent's gonna get out.
Yeah.
I can't figure out deer hunting. And I thought it was easy. My dad, he goes to West Texas every year, and they're like, the feeder goes off and 70 show up.
Yeah.
He picks out which and blasts it, I'm like, man, that is completely different than what I'm looking at here in East Texas.
Yeah. That's one thing I've quickly learned is bow hunting is a whole different realm. Whereas it's like, I sit there and I look at some of those deer, like moving through the thick pines or something. I'm like, if it was gun season, I'd have a 12 gauge with as many double aught buck as I could fit in it, and I'd be coming home with one of these tasty sumbitches.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But
here
instead,
we
I'm
are
real
with
sad.
with a freaking stick and an arrow, and can't make it happen. I can't get it. And I got a bow that's like, man, it's like 420 some odd feet per second.
Mm-hmm.
And like from me shooting it, like I can bullseye it at like 60 yards.
Yeah.
So I don't have to be overly close. But I don't know. It's too hard. It's so these guys got me figured out. The deer are like laughing at me.
Yes, I understand.
Yeah. But it's been one of them deals. Joey, man, hey, I just got 12 minutes out of Nate.
Yeah.
That's got to be a record.
It's pretty close. It's pretty close. He's been talking about trying to talk more and stuff, but he don't say shit, so it's like,
there was no way I was gonna be able to interject between you and Joey Wright. Y'all passionate motherfuckers was.
And ain't got nothing to do about being passionate. You just gotta start fucking talking, or ain't you gonna get to say nothing.
Yeah. You gotta cut me off because I'm.
Yes.
I've been in that mode though. I've been due. I've been due for
a soapbox session
for stirring a little controversy.
Which, I mean, like, he's talking about like cutting you off and stuff. I almost rather talk to somebody like that than somebody who's very respectful and doesn't.
Yeah.
Because you can't have a good conversation.
Yeah.
I mean, you can, but it's not an entertaining conversation.
Yeah.
You get like, say, me, you, and Pat and Jake, if we're all four talking, by the end of the thing, nobody knows who the fuck said what, and nobody who knows who's talking. But I guarantee you, they're going to be like, Jesus Christ, listen to this shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. If I ever end up, branching out and doing my own podcast, I'm definitely gonna have to have you and Joey on. But I think I'm gonna have to hit up Connor Anderson and old Johnny White. Have you ever put Johnny White on a podcast yet?
No.
Not yet.
Not yet.
No. Which, I mean, I said something to him last year, I think it was, or maybe year before.
I think we've had loose discussions about it.
Yeah, we've handed around about it, but like for a while we were bringing all our stuff with us every time we would come, and then by the time we got there and got everything situated, I mean it's hard to do one on the road to an extent because like everybody's baying dogs unless you do it like the first day everybody's there. It's so hard to get done because when it's over, everybody's fucking tired, or everybody gets drunk, or whatever, something happens.
Well, Johnny's right now. He's trying not to he's trying definitely not to try to rattle any feathers.
Yeah.
So you might have a hard time getting anything out of him if you got him on. But Johnny, man, like he's sharp. He
is.
Just because he don't wear Wranglers and a cowboy hat don't mean he don't know hog dogs.
That's exactly right. And I've said that, like I said, for quite a few years. It's like he's always been one of those like a sleeper. You know what I mean? It's like don't count him out because he'll be there.
Like my start and his start have some similarities. I wear my cap backwards. I don't wear Wranglers. You know what I mean? I'm not your traditional cowboy looking guy that's been baying dogs my whole life. I didn't grow up in it. My daddy didn't do this. I have, my background I came to the show. I liked what I saw, and I said, man, I think I can do this too.
Yeah.
And Johnny's kind of comes from the same way. He just had he liked it, he enjoyed it, and the passion he has for it. And, he's not your traditional cowboy looking guy. He's not a hillbilly. He's a Yankee. And, Johnny kind of wore a chip on his shoulder because people didn't take to him and they weren't, they didn't treat him. Just as much as Johnny's done stuff, he's had it done to him too. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's just one of those things. I'm like, man, I like him. That that's all there is to it. Like, if anybody needs to know where I stand with him.
Nothing wrong with that. Like I said, it's one of them deals where, and like you said, he's different in a lot of ways because like he wasn't born and raised here, as far as I know, or he doesn't live here full time, and I've got friends that live in Idaho, in Michigan, and they speak differently. They don't have as much courtesy, it seems, sometimes as we do. They just say whatever comes out, and people take it as like, well, he's an asshole. Because if you're in the South and you're like me and you, and we say whatever the fuck comes to we're assholes. Which, in all honesty, like we're like Yankees.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
I just, I throwed it out there. Fuck. Johnny White, my brother.
That's it, my man.
Oh my goodness.
But,
well, that's it.
Man, I think I covered everything.
Say you got it all. Are you?
I think I covered
vented?
I think I got on here and cried for. I got on here and cried for 2 hours.
You
and
ain't
20
cried,
minutes.
not yet. We're gonna listen. We're gonna do one night where we all sit around and get shit faced drunk, and then we'll cry. We'll have one of them crying drunk ones, and
Yeah, boy.
we'll talk about how good Jake is.
Hey, I did brag on him a little bit, didn't I?
Yes, sir.
Hey, he's been due. All he's been done is criticized. I feel like he didn't that it's you know. I just feel like he needs to be patted on the back as much as he's criticized.
He does a
There's a lot
lot.
of things that he does great.
He
Yeah.
does.
I mean, like I said, everybody's got their faults. But,
He's the best at this, though.
But to keep it going like it's going and progressing and all that, like he's putting in the time and the work, no doubt. And I appreciate it. We all appreciate it,
Yes.
From our point of view. This year I didn't get to make every show. I think I missed one last year, and I'll miss 2 this year. And I wasn't, I just couldn't make them. There's too much shit going. But this coming year, I'm gonna try my best to make every one. Try to support it,
Man,
to keep it rolling. And I encourage all the listeners out there, any new listeners, y'all get a chance, y'all come visit, come see a show. Y'all go see Randy, go see Goose. Come check out the dogs and come check out what Hog Band's all about. We might even have Johnny White there signing fucking autographs.
Never know.
Johnny White signing autographs. He's sitting in Johnny White and Goose are sitting in the same booth signing autographs.
There you go.
Yeah,
that's exactly right. Yeah. So, all right, Randy. Well, man, we appreciate you. And
yes, sir.
We'll stay in touch with you, brother.
Yes, sir. Y'all take care. It was good. Hey, thanks for having me on.
No problem.
Yes, sir.
We'll see you, buddy.
Yes, sir.
Randy.
All right. Bye. Well, that surprised me that Randy would talk about him and Goose.
I can't believe that.
What the fuck? What's going on in this place? What is happening? That's a damn lie. We knew exactly what he was going to talk about because we love Randy for who he is and how he is.
I mean, my dog ain't worth the fuck, and I talk about it a decent amount.
I talk bad about my dogs. I'm like, this dumb bastard.
I ain't going to run him down, but to him, I start shit talking to him. Like Eminem. Yeah. So this morning, guys, took him on a trap line and was showing some other dogs some coons for the first time. And Eminem is a true bay dog because he's learned that a raccoon bites back and it's got these little hands. And unlike a pig, and unlike a small little pig, it can tear his ass up. So he bit it that first time and it bit him back. And then he's like, I'll bay it. And then the other dog, we let it kill the coon. And then after that, after the coon was dead and I got the other dog off, Eminem looked at me, he went over there and nailed it and shook it. And I was like, oh yeah, you bad now, ain't you, son? I was like, what a bay dog.
Oh, yeah. Well, there's another one for you. If y'all got any questions, y'all know y'all can holler at us. Y'all can email us, text us, call us, whatever. This will probably come out next week or in a few days. I would like to say, we talked about, made a post about, closing the main store. If y'all have any questions or if you need anything, just contact us personally and we'll go over it with you and whatever we need to do. But we do thank y'all for y'all support for the time that we've been able to do that. Yes. We just don't have enough time. Like we just don't. We can't sit here inside for 6 or 8 hours a day and do all the other things in the world that we're doing as well. But it's been fun, no doubt. It's been a good run. Dixie Dogger's still wide open. I mean, podcasts, the hunting, trapping, all that stuff, still hammering on that. So y'all make sure y'all keep up with us on social media. We're trying to get this thing to grow enough to where maybe we can get to start making a little money doing it. Because we definitely put in the time and the effort. So also, if you need some advertising or anything like that, if you want to have your business advertised, let us know. Get with Nate. He can fix you up. We've got some openings on some slots, and you can do it by the week, the month, the year, the show, or however you want to do it. We got it to fit all budgets. Okay, enough shameless plugs for all that. Thank you. We appreciate y'all, and we out.
Thank you. Hope y'all enjoyed that episode. Stay tuned for our new episodes every Monday and Wednesday. For questions, advertising, or just to chat, email DixieDoggers01@gmail.com.